Bandito Radio 112 FM, a streaming radio station for all toy enthusiasts, collectors, photographers, and customizers. Built to match your mood and passion. Music from hip-hop to country and all the rock in between with host Howlin' Jim Jackson. For a dose of the macabre, there's Myra's Morgue of Midnight Madness. Plus our newest collector podcast, Purple Gang Gang Full Frontal Purple. And Action Figure Frequencies. With your hosts, SKN's own Chet Maddox and Alexander Storm. Bandito Radio 112 FM. Available to stream now on Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
It's Friday the 13th, and tonight we're kicking open the gates of hell. Welcome to the blood-soaked battlefield where low-budget horror collides with World War II mayhem and O-ring carnage. This is World War Hell, the vintage-inspired figure line that looks like it crawled straight off a cursed VHS shelf and into your nightmares. We've got creator Chris Scott of GrindHouse Toys joining us live to unleash the carnage behind the Kickstarter launch that happened today. And trust us, this thing is moving faster than a flamethrower through a zombie trench. Plus, we're mashing up some horror, some cinema, war cinema that is, in our brand new segment, PPI Mix and Match. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you merged Saving Private Ryan with The Thing? Well, you're about to. So grab your popcorn, power up your Walkman, and pray your soul's still under warranty, because tonight it is World War Hell. This is PPI. Oh my, oh my. One of my favorite days. And Mr. Jason Voorhees, one of my favorite characters of all time. I feel like I should be wearing the mask while we do this show, but then I'd be missing all the action. I'm so excited, gentlemen, because tonight is a big night. Special guest, as we said, launching a gigantic Kickstarter. And I don't think we should wait any much longer. Chet Maddox, let's formally introduce our guest.
Well, we have been talking about this for some time, and he has been on Toy Box Chronicles, and it was a pleasure having him there. And then we were working out the details. But, you guys are all excited, and we've been seeing conversations around the inner tubes about, World War Hell and GrindHouse Toys. So without further ado, and bringing in just another level of sex appeal to our channel for the entirety of today, friends and family and friends, and people who hate us and people who love us, Mr. Chris Scott. Howdy, sir.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. That was. Yeah. I just want to say one thing real quick. That intro was fantastic. I loved it.
Awesome. It took us only 5 days to rehearse, so I'm glad that it came across well. We're excited to have you, man. Thanks for jumping on. I know you were on Toy Box Chronicles, and for those of you just tuning in, never have checked out the show before, this is Pixels Plastic Ink. We do pop culture, comic books, toys, collectibles, and then Wednesday night we also go live at the same time, which is primarily toys and collectibles. So thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe, like, but we're excited, man. This Kickstarter, by the way, before we jump into things, chat, anybody listening, you better get in on this thing. I just want to share, and this is not a paid advertisement. That's not what this show is about. So let's just be clear. When this thing launched kind of early this afternoon, I got a text like, hey, it's live. And I checked and there was a tier and I'm like, great. Oh, wow. Okay. Took a call 20 minutes later. I'm like, holy I better get in on this. And I'm glad I did. So I think we have a little chat challenge and follower challenge here in just a few minutes here, but let's dive right in to what's happening in the world of GrindHouse Toys. So, Chris, for those I'm sure a lot of people tuning in already know, but would you mind just giving us a little idea of what just released today for our audience?
So, World War Hell has arrived. It is World War II, end of the world, apocalyptic horror, zombies with chainsaws, severed heads running around with creature-like limbs and just nasty business, but all in a very fun, family-friendly O-ring style and a VHS box. So, you want to bring all the horror home today. Well, not today, but when the toys come out. So we have the Kickstarter launch today, and it's been a fantastic day so far.
All right.
Well, we got a lot of people in the chat, so let's go, because I do know there are some questions in there for you as well. We want to get to that. But first up, we have Baraza. It is 7 p.m. Let's effing go. Welcome in. Good to see you here. We got Commander Bly, as always. First is always the best. Let's get it, fellas. Happy Friday. Happy Father's Day to all my fellow fathers. And then my dudes, Hasbro brought the heat with the little flame emoji. I didn't think Commander Bly knew emojis, but I guess he does. Star Wars live stream was probably one of the best. And we'll get to his question in a second. Moocher, good to see you. Commander Bly, some more emojis. Hidden, welcome in, my friend. How you doing? And then we've got Darth Moocher showing up. Happy to have you here. And Skeletron, welcome in. Toy Box Chronicles is cool, but the hosts are kind of sus. That is true. And then Deadly Dios, welcome in, sir. But more importantly, we have a question here for you, Chris. It says, World War Hell seems awfully violent. Do you have plans for a World Peace Heaven line?
The prequel series. No, that's a fantastic idea, but I don't know. We want violence. That's what I was always told. We want gore and horror. There's no peace. There is none of that. So I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
You can do a corpse before, a prequel of the corpse character.
That's true. Before his head exploded. I like it.
Would be get a classic spinning spark. Yes, it would actually. I'm gonna look.
So Chris, I know you've been on a couple of different casts over the past promoting this, and I guess we'll just ask it straight up. First up, like where did this idea come from? I mean, it's like such a cool concept. Maybe we start there for people who haven't heard of like the origin story of World War Hell.
Yeah, of course. It's funny. I do all the like art direction and paint masters and everything for Operation Monster Force, the 6-inch line by Fresh Monkey Fiction and Big Bad Workshop. And I was actually, coming up with some stuff, working on some of their characters. And then I started working on one of my own characters. It was Sergeant Graves was the first one, and I was actually designing him to be a 6-inch figure. And I would still like to do that maybe one day, but it just started kind of evolving, and I wanted to. It's funny. It was almost like that Masters of the Universe kind of style, where it's like, let's figure it out, like the toys out kind of first to an extent, and then start playing around with the world and the story. But I knew I wanted to do World War II, just because it was different, and I love that. There's not a lot of horror in there. I mean, I love Overlord, which is a fantastic movie, or like Hellboy and all that, but we don't have a lot of toys like in that kind of world. And so trying to figure out a way to merge all of that together and just do some sort of ridiculous thing, and kind of World War Hell came out of that. And I just wanted something fun and kind of campy. I had already come up with a lot of the like Multiverse Massacre with my last two figures, with more of a sci-fi, B movie feel. And so I really wanted to lean into the horror with this. And I think we're there now. So
that's awesome. That's all. Here's the challenge, folks. We're gonna set there. If you haven't gone on to Kickstarter and seen the campaign already, it launched today. You see a bunch of different levels and backing components, but one thing in particular, and one that I personally backed, has been the blockbuster one. And there's like only a few spots left. So
there's only one spot. There's only one spot.
Now?
Okay, all right.
So go. Yeah, there's only one spot.
Mouse click it, folks. I mean, you heard it from us. All right. See, we don't mess around here on PPL. Let's do it. Let's get it back to. I'm afraid by the time I'm done with this sentence, it'll already be gone. So, Mr. Storm.
Yes, sir.
We saw this live at Toylanta.
We did. Yep. Yes, sir.
We were blown away.
I think it was probably, I'm going to put this in, and I know he's on the show, so we're not trying to blow smoke because we don't do that here. But this was my anticipated figures of the year to buy. I wanted something completely different than the stuff that I had been seeing on the shelf. This plays in. I love World War II. Dr. Brentley and I are huge World War II buffs. So this just fitted in. But let me ask, what's up, Deadly? Oh, yeah, Grindhouse. Deadman, sorry. One thing that, let me ask you this. If there's one character, let's say, because we got the all-in, we're going to get that all-in is going to be all done by the time this episode's over with. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that. If there's one character, if you say, hey, I know you don't pick your favorites, but if you had to, and the one character that everyone needs to pick up that you say is absolutely a must out of this line, what's that character?
That's tough. If you're only picking up one figure, I mean, I think it would be a toss up between Spectre, just because he's so fun.
Okay.
And even though I personally, Graves is still my favorite, just because that was my first one that I designed. But Spectre is the ghost. I mean, he's a ghost that haunts a machine gun with a chainsaw bayonet. Which is very ridiculous. But then also I'm not really answering the question well, because I keep saying all the different characters, but the corpse, because I mean, come on, a zombie, or he comes with skeleton parts and zombie parts and blood effects. You can kind of mix him into anything of your collection, which is
So what you're doing is you're doing the Hasbro. You got to buy 4 of them, everyone. There is a 4 tier there too, so this works in for you.
We have 2 questions. We have 2 questions I want to get to real quick. One is, Chris, now that you're a maker, how has this affected your perspective as a collector?
That's a good question. I'm still an addict a little bit, but I definitely tear stuff apart a little bit more. I think seeing what maybe could be done better or worse, and just kind of it makes me a little more picky, I guess, on what I collect. And I definitely have noticed though, me making things now makes me. I used to be like crazy excited about different things, and I still am, but like it focuses more of my energy in like trying to come up with something new. But like, this week I still pre-ordered a bunch of like Joes and stuff, of course.
And then Sergeant Graves has the coolest sword ever, but still gives Sergeant Inspector the edge for #1 slot. This one's important. The Hidden wants to know what his options are, so let's show that.
Let's just call out Toyomic Displays, backer number 15 in the chat.
Yeah, backer number 15.
Such an amazing start, Chris. So
great job, brother.
Awesome.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you. Yeah. I was just on Action Figure Alliance 2 days ago too.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, 43. We're at 43 right now. Look at that.
All right.
That's nice. We're moving on up. Let's see. Do we still have any more spots on that Blockbuster All In?
The Blockbuster one.
One
we
left.
have one. We have one left.
That's going to be the cheapest way to get it right now. You want it if you want to do that. If you want all the figures, but we can go over the different.
We definitely should. I mean, we've got the Hidden who's asked the questions, and for those of you again, if you haven't even gone into Kickstarter, it's a great opportunity to back independent toy makers, folks that have done previous successful projects. You get the cool stuff. You get early in. You get all these cool collectibles, and I think this is one of the coolest Kickstarters. So, Chris, maybe walk us through this so people know. Get in and order tonight, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. So this right here we have the creature feature, which is a box of decapitators, which are spider-esque kind of creatures. They're made out of like human matter, and then it's a decapitated head on top. And it's a 4-pack, which is very fun. So if you want to just do something small, these guys can be mixed into your collection. And they also come in a vintage style candy box. So it'll look like it'll be it's one more down. Right there. And so it'll look like that top box. It'll be like actually boxed like that. And so they will be inside, which is fun. And then Mark Pennington did that artwork.
Great.
It's actually a bigger piece, which I haven't shown too much of yet, and it's gonna be pretty damn cool. And then the next tier is the Green Army Men from Hell, which is this is the only figure that's not going to come in a VHS box. Because it will come in a bag with a cardboard header, like a bag of Green Army Men. To all the parts, he comes with a ton of accessories. If you see,
let's see if we could get a picture of him real quick.
He's down.
I thought I had. There he is.
And so, yes, this is spread out like a render more so, but these are actually the prototypes. I took pictures of them, cut them out, and put them in here to look like that. But yeah.
So does the Toys R Us mock tag stay? Is that going to be included?
I'm still. I don't want stuff printed like that. Like I'll do the stickers sometimes printed, but like the price tags I love. But man, I would rather it be a full on sticker. So if I can figure that out, I think that would be a little more fun. And so seeing right here, I left the high price on there on accident. So you guys get to see the that was just let's just put that there for now as a placeholder. And so
and then we got the next one. We have the Green Army one we just did in feature presentation.
Yes. So feature presentation is just one action figure. You don't have to pick right now. You can just back for one figure. This will be any of the unlocked figures. You'll pick that in backer kit in a Kickstarter. Once the Kickstarter ends and it is successfully funded, you'll do a survey and you will pick all of your figures. And so like with this, you would just be like, well, I want that one. I want Sergeant Spectre.
So on this one, if someone's like, cool, I just want to pick one of them, and the tiers are unlocked, does this allow them to pick one of the unlocked tiers, or is it just the base ones?
As long as it's unlocked, they can pick whatever they want.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Cool.
Great.
Then we have a quadrilogy.
Yep.
Quadrilogy.
Yeah, quadrilogy. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's,
okay.
you know, the four. This is just a 4-pack of, again, any figures that are unlocked.
Right.
So like you know, you don't have to pick now. Once figures are unlocked, you can pick whoever you want. You know, say Colonel Malum gets unlocked. He's our first unlock. You can have 4 Colonel Malums if you want. It doesn't, you know, you can choose. This is good for if you want to just like a squad of corpses. You can do that. Multiple options there.
And I think if we pay attention here, this blockbuster is all gone.
Oh, somebody grabbed
great.
it. Nice.
Hey,
Great job.
Nice.
Great job.
Congratulations on that one. There you
Great
go.
job.
All right, what's the next challenge then? So what are we moving on? What are we selling out next?
We are here to sell 2 more VIP Hellfire Club experiences.
Hellfire Clubs.
Let's get
All
it.
right.
Those are they're only $1,000. Commander Bly will probably buy one for him and one for Blitz Transmission.
Hey, Chris, I got a question for you here. So
Yes.
In a world dominated with 6-inch figures, 3.7. Why'd you go that route? I'm so curious. I think it's great. I think there's an absolute need. There's a desire. There's a demand. But I'm just like, what made you think like I'm just going to go this route? Screw what kind of what's happening right now, and I'm going to this line. Like I'd love to get your perspective.
Well, there's a few options on that. Or reasoning for that is because 1, it fits in the VHS case perfectly. 2, so 2. O-ring action figures, like when we were kids, you know, 3 3/4, that was like our thing. It was my thing anyways. And that coming in a VHS case is a little more special, I feel. And 3, I want to do vehicles, man. Like I want to do some crazy, you know, horror related World War II vehicles with, you know, all kinds of silliness. And again, I collect 6-inch. I collected. I pre-ordered some of the Joes this week. Like Slaughter's my guy, so I had to get him. And but like shelf space, man. Like I want to have some battles set up with these little dudes, and I wanted to go a different route, you know. And so that's where that went.
Commander Bly says because you prefer action figures over dolls.
You don't know me. You don't know about my doll collection.
Yeah. Dead Man, the blockbuster one just sold out, but stay tuned because there's another version of it that may or may not be launching. It's not the same price, but
it's a little bit more. Don't you worry.
How do you not go all in? And Chris got us 112 scale guys buying 118 scale. We're happy.
There you go.
That's what makes me happy.
That is true. That is true.
Did you ever think like before? Would this ever have started in a different media form, like a movie, a TV, graphic novels, or was this always going to kind of be predominantly the figure line first? Did you ever think
definitely figure line first with this, but that's why it's been so fun, like building the world and the story. And I would love to still do like a graphic novel, or, you know, I'm a huge fan of Love, Death, Robots, and like watching some of those ones, you know, some of those episodes. Like last night I watched the Cthulhu one again, I forgot, Hollowed Tombs or something like that. And I'm like, man, I wish animation wasn't so damn expensive. Like how cool this be, you know, to see something like this gory and this ridiculous, but in the World War hell, you know, world. And but yeah, definitely the toys first, because I'm a toy guy first and foremost, but I do love movies and all of that stuff too.
That's awesome.
Well, let's run a pitch here, since we've been since you talk about the VHS and the 112 and everything. How about Laserdisc?
Of course, they'll fit perfectly in there. Just put a gun pack in a giant laser disc.
Just if you haven't thought of that packaging before.
I mean, they do have some of the best artwork. I mean, you get so much, you know, real estate. It's a movie vinyl practically.
Chris, if you do a Betamax version, I'm all in. If you do just one, just give it
Betamax.
That's the new tier right now.
Let's maybe take a look.
I'm thinking 8-track for the villains.
There we go. Let's take a look a little closer at the figures, if we could. Chat. Let's pull it up, because I think obviously we've walked through the campaigns, but again, you could check this all out on Kickstarter. Chris, where else could I know you're on IG? Is there anywhere else that folks could kind of check out the line? Any other social or websites?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook as well. I mostly just use the Instagram the most, but I'll post what I post Instagram to Facebook. But if you want to like shoot me a message or you want to ask questions or comment, I'm usually faster on Instagram because I usually keep that up. I feel like I like Instagram because you can show a lot more with the pictures easier, and I don't know, I just like the whole setup better. But yeah, and I have a website also, grindhousetoys.com, but there's only one thing for the Kickstarter on there for that. But if you want to see the pictures, this is usually the best way to do it. Instagram.
Awesome. So a little, I'm curious, and Mr. Storm, chat, Doctor, please weigh in here. But Sergeant Spec, like, give us a little bit more insight into this character creation, because like I remember when I saw these live at Toylanta, this was the one that really stood out to me. Is the I'm like, look at this character. This is the one that just made me. When is this going live? Give us a little backstory of how this particular character came about, and translucent. Like, I'm so curious.
Yeah, so I don't know, like I wanted to do something. So when you're making toys, you always want to try to kind of come up with some sort of different characters. You want stuff to look a little different. You don't want to just make every figure very similar to each other. You got to make some difference with the characters. And so there was just something about a ghost walking around with military gear on. Like what happened with this character? Like, did he get killed and now he's just wandering, or what happened? And then the ghost flame with the skull head. I don't know. I'm a sucker. I'm a big Ghost Rider fan. I have him on my arm, and I was like, that would be a really fun thing. And so with our Necromancer, which was the last figure I did, he had these PVC flame effects that went on his arm. And so that's what Spectre will also have. He'll have 4 of them, though. So he has 1 on each arm. He can put them on his legs. You put them really wherever you want. And I just thought that was just such a fun idea for a character to be a ghost with especially a freaking machine gun, a bayonet, a chainsaw bayonet with a machine gun. And so he haunts that weapon. So he doesn't always show up. Like, he's part of this team. He's a good guy. He doesn't talk. He's just kind of this intense ghost that just shows up on his own whenever he wants to. So the poor team, his Devil's Rejects, the special forces team that Graves is part of, some of those guys got to tote his gear around and hope he shows up to do some damage. And
that's actually kind of cool. Now, one thing that we've noticed that really kind of piqued my interest about Grindhouse and Best Way is the box artwork, where it's a VHS tape, and we've seen this a couple of times now. One thing, do we get a Grindhouse Toys Blockbuster card at one point, because I actually need to rent some stuff there? And secondly is how detailed, when you actually start thinking about the figures, do you start thinking about that packaging?
Yeah, so I'm surprised you didn't get one of the Grindhouse Toys membership cards.
I did not yet, man. I'm still.
It was right on the table. You missed it then.
Yeah.
So no, I'll have to get you one. So my business cards are, the Grindhouse Toys, rental cards. But no. Yeah, so with the packaging, and like the Grindhouse Toys Blockbuster style cases right there, those were just something fun I threw together for Joe Ranto originally, and people just really liked them. But I wanted to show something that, these are going to come in the VHS cases, but per the figure, I'm always kind of thinking about what's the artwork going to look like, what's this, and who's going to draw it, who's going to do the artwork for it, because I don't want every figure to look the same. You have a stack of VHSs on a shelf, they're all gonna look, nothing's gonna line up, the spines aren't gonna line up, none of that. And so I wanted to make sure with this it was kind of the same feeling. And so that's why we have, I've been very fortunate to work with like Tim Barron right there on the Sergeant Spectre poster, so that artwork will be him. Mark Pennington has done some of the Sergeant Graves stuff. I had Scott Brown recently I worked with, who I met through Operation Recall, and he did Cerberus Trooper, and it came out so good because it just looks like old Sunbow, G.I. Joe cartoon. But I want them all to have their own kind of feeling,
Yeah. Wow. And that's, again, I love that it's like still just like somebody has actually worn that cover out. It just has a sense of belief. Every little detail I think matters, and you get some stuff here that is like, wow, so much care, so much time put into it. That's amazing. And I'm looking at Toyomatic Displays actually has a question up, which he asked, have you talked about the epic dio that you had Jimmy from HVX Customs make for you? He did such an amazing job.
He really did, and so it was awesome. I met Jimmy at IshCon a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And he just like really fell in love with the line, and he was literally just a few booths down from me, and I went and checked out his dios, and we were just talking. He's a metalhead like me,
Okay.
and I was like, I was like, you want to do a dio for me? He's like, yes. And he nailed it. He just knocked it out of the freaking park. And it just looks so cool. And it's it's carved out of foam. He has some like 3D printed skulls in there. And I wanted something to really just show the figures off. And so cool.
Wow. That definitely did it. And Deadman says, I'd like to hear more about the Mickey character. I think that's probably Steamboat Willie.
Let's show Steamboat, because
there he
funny
is.
enough, so I have a pin on my hat, and it's literally Mickey, like demonic Mickey with the Reaper's weapon, and I'm like,
really?
So, yeah.
There he is.
Look at that. So I'm
That's
like,
fantastic.
So when I saw that live, I'm like, wait a minute, I had this pin before. So I'm with Deadman Juan. What the hell is what's going on here? Like, this is awesome.
So he's actually the whole kind of entity that comes into our world that kind of just really causes havoc. So Colonel Malum, he's the guy with the face that's on his face, the nasty kind of Texas Chainsaw feel. He summons this dude called the Harbinger of Doom, and he is a straight up demon that shows up at Willy Dilly Land is the name of the theme park. And he full on just goes into the whole Steamboat Willie persona. He's a complete asshole, and he just causes chaos. And you do not want to be, like you know when you play like a video game and you got like you're super underpowered, and you see that dude just kind of wandering around, and you're like, yeah, don't fight him yet. I'm gonna get massacred. That's Steamboat Willie over there. He is just nasty individual, bringing people back to life. He's got his scythe over there that is made out of human bones, and if you get those soft goods off, he's got like the reverse knees. You see the hooves, and I'll show more of him once we get closer to him in the Kickstarter.
All right.
This could be a hell of a cosplay if somebody does it. The next Horror Palooza.
That'd be amazing.
Amazing. I think we have one more question from Commander Bly. Will there be a subline that you have to walk through a bearded curtain door to get to, asking for a friend?
I mean, it is GrindHouse Toys, so yeah, we have some exploitation. Come on, like we have to have the back room for those guys.
Yep.
It's a different type of toy line.
Yeah,
Come on.
You find them at every convention. No, they're there.
For those, go ahead,
I was going to say, Chris, one of the things I'm so impressed with the detail in these smaller figures. And now, is that something that you set out to do? How long did it take to get all of it right, where you were actually pleased with the results?
So thank you. I being a painter myself, working on like Monster Force was kind of a trial run for me, even though those are at 6-inch scale. I was like, all right, can the factory do this? Can we get to this point? Like, am I going to just go crazy on the paint and then us being, get in trouble when the actual figure comes out? But no, like they've been nailing it with Monster Force, and it's the same. We use the same factory as the Four Horsemen, so the Mythic Legions and all of that stuff. So they put out some of the best quality out there. And so I was like, I'm just swinging for the fences, and I'm so happy with how it came out. And, I'm a big fan of like the Joy Toy figures, and they've been nailing that detail and that smaller scale as well. And so I really I love really good detailed figures, especially with the gore and like the grime and all that stuff we don't usually get. It's usually just bare plastic. And I did not want to have that.
Well, I think one thing that I've noticed, that not throughout this cast, but all throughout most of the forums today, is that you've been converting people all day long, man. From beginning from when this campaign point, but you've converted Deadman Juan, actually. I'm looking right here in the comments, where he says, literally what sold me on the line is I'm a 112 guy, and now I'm thinking of world building. I have been hearing this from every 112 collector saying, I guess I'm going to be going back to 118.
that makes me super happy, especially since it's such a departure too. It's not even just, hey, I'm going 6-inch to a 4-inch modern. It's 6-inch to a 3 3/4 O-ring figure. You know, it's so different, but I think that's kind of the charm of it. You know, seeing like the rivet marks and the things on the figure, it just gives it, because the proportions in an O-ring figure are a little silly. You know, they're like, I've been told, like, people are like, oh, they're cute, you know, and so to take this like horror related ridiculousness and to, I think it's just so different for people, and I'm glad people are enjoying it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've seen. I've heard that all day today, and I think that's the good thing too. Is that, you know, we were seeing this on we do action figure frequencies over at Bandito Radio, and we were like, is 118th dead? And I think it's dead because people have been doing the same thing. But when you get something new and some excitement, and you're putting as much detail in a 118 figure that people normally would see in a 112, because he said you couldn't get that kind of detail in that, and the Necromancer figure proved that. So, you know, this is the thing, is that, you know, just when we needed that extra surprise, like every damn pre-order we got this week out of the 150, this was a nice closeout to the week, because this is probably one of the most original lines we've gotten all week, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And again, for those of you who are just coming in or just came in a little bit late, GrindHouse Toys World War Hell Kickstarter campaign launched today. While we were doing the show, the Blockbuster sold out. So if you have any like, I'm kind of on the fence, don't wait. Get your orders in now. Support this amazing project here. Again, we're not paid. When we see something of quality that inspires us, that could resurrect the 118, like we're all about this. So check out the Kickstarter if you haven't already. We're just talking through with Chris from GrindHouse Toys, obviously creator here, about all the things related to the line. So you've been doing the conventions, promoting this. You got any other upcoming conventions that people can actually see these things in person in the next 30, 60, 90 days through the summer?
Yeah. So I'm going to be at Joe Fest in Augusta next week. So yeah, right there, booth 150. I'll be right next to the big bad Fresh Monkey Fiction booth. We got the two corners there, which will be cool. And yeah, definitely come by and see the booth if you're anywhere in the area, because like we're going to have, you know, we're going to be pushing the Kickstarter. I have a 70-inch tall Spectre that's going to be set up, a big cardboard cutout. You know, got to go the full movie store, you know, and then we'll have some VHS movies playing as always. Check out the booth and come see the figures. It's going to be a good time.
I think you should be happy that I'm not going to be able to make that, because at Toyland I tried to take your other display.
You did.
And if I was at Joe Fest, I'd be like, well, this is coming home with me because I didn't get the last one. Yeah, no, I think it's good, man. I think Joe Fest will be really good. I was telling you, Joe Fest is actually where I saw you the first time.
Yeah.
And I kept walking by, and you had the big like pile of guys with the Necromancer on top. And then by the time I was like driving home, I was like, damn it, I forgot to buy a bunch of them. So luckily I got the Necromancer, but yeah, Joe Fest is fantastic, and you're in a good spot with a bunch of really good people. So
yeah.
it's gonna be awesome.
Chris, we're gonna talk a little bit in just a few minutes about horror and this mix and match game. But I'm curious. You talked a little bit. Obviously, there's some inspiration with horror in this line. Was there certain horror films of past or present that integrated into this inspiration, or could you talk a little bit about like some of your favorite films or TV that perhaps inspired this line as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you get me going on that stuff. I love talking horror movies and everything like that. So Evil Dead is definitely a strong top, and Evil Dead 2 especially, because I love Evil Dead 1 and all, but Evil Dead 2 is still the best out of all of the movies. And
one of the best endings in film history, I think.
Yes. It's so good. And so that definitely was kind of the vibe I was going for also with World War Hell. I didn't want it to be too serious. And that's why I love what Sam Raimi did with, with Evil Dead 2. And so there's that, of course. I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, of course. And so The Thing, I can't say no to, not talking about The Thing. And you could probably see that in like the Decapitators with the influence there. A newer movie, again, it is World War II, but I love Overlord. And I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's so good.
Yep.
Wyatt Russell's role in there as the corporal. I can't think of his last name. The character he plays, it's Corporal. I don't remember, but his kind of demeanor kind of inspired a lot of Graves in there with that kind of hard, war-torn soldier, just beating the crap out of these dudes. And another new movie actually that it's going back to that Evil Dead again, but I really, really enjoyed Evil Dead Rise as a new film, like in that franchise, just for the creepy kind of just that apartment had so much character just in it it's filmed very well. And trying to think what else do I got. I mean, really just any of that. I love From Dusk Till Dawn. That's one of my favorite. It's 90s, but that is a fun movie. I don't know. I'll talk all day if you let me. So
when I think about like horror and I think about military, one that comes to mind. Some people, have you ever seen Dog Soldiers?
Yes, that's fantastic. Yeah, the whole what is it? Is it Irish or is it Scottish? Irish or the Scottish? Scottish, yes. Fighting the werewolves and cool. And it's a lot of practical effects and it's super fun.
Really quick, we did announce that the Blockbuster pack had sold out. However, Chris has posted a new one, which is the Blockbuster 2 pack. And so you could go get that. It's basically the same thing as what the original Blockbuster 1 is. So go over and grab that if you can. There's only 147 left, so people are grabbing them. So you better grab that shit fast.
I did. Honestly, like, again, do not wait, because it literally within 15 minutes of a phone call they were gone. And as you saw, we opened up the show with just a few left, and they were gone. So I think that's a variety of different ways you can back the project. That seemed to be one of the popular ones, but don't let that stall you from going with the big guy, right? Who wants to be the VIP and some other cool things along the lines. What I think we should talk about that, because I think we talked a little bit through like the entry and mid-level tier, but maybe the real good, like, you want to back this project. We should talk a little bit about the Be Kind Rewind, the horror, and then the Hellfire VIP experience. And Bring Home the Carnage. I don't think we talked about that either. Somebody said they backed it. So
Deadly Dioramas got the Bring Home the Carnage. I was on the phone with him earlier today being like, dude, you're seeing this thing take off. He's like, yeah, I got the Bring Home the Carnage because I need all the figures. So
love it.
But yeah, this is good stuff, man. So what is that one?
Okay, so Bring Home the Carnage is just 12 figures. Again, like how we were talking about earlier, you can pick any 12 you want. You want 12 corpses, that's cool. But also, once stuff unlocks, you could fill it with whatever you want. It's more of like for the army builders, or if you just want to do it that way, and just a little bit more open-ended for people.
And then the Be Kind Rewind.
And so that is
question
though. Yes.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Now I will switch my pledge right now. If I buy this, does it come in a mock version of the Rewinders, the cars that popped up and you put the tape in? Does it come in?
That would be
because I will switch my stupid fucking.
I need that now. Hold on, let me just. No, that would be amazing. This is the double all in, so it's the same as the Blockbuster experience, but doubled. So it's a little bit, you get a little bit better deal because you're getting extra figures, and so, but it's just 2 of everything unlocked. And so the all-ins, like the Blockbuster experience or the Be Kind Rewind, anything, or even the VIP experience, any of those all-in ones are great for once stuff especially starts unlocking. If you get once figures unlock, you're just going to get one of everything, and it doesn't change your price. So your price is always that. So, and the thing is that if they don't
That's
all
awesome.
unlock, which sometimes happens, you're still going to get more figures. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's all in. You only get 5 figures. Get out of here, guys. You know, I'm going to make sure you guys get that value because you guys are helping support me. I want to make sure you guys are happy. And that's something I learned from like the Marauder Task Force. They always, you did an all in and you got so much cool stuff.
Yeah, you have to do that, which is a lot of people don't expect that to happen on Kickstarter. Just as a, you know, like people were like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna have to pay the same price and I'll get the same amount of stuff, and it's like, yeah. On the horror, what is this one? Just
so
24?
This is again an army builder. It's for those army builders. So it's 24 figures. You know, I had to get that 666, you know, price in there, which is fun. And this is a great, you know, price per figure. Based upon like even though the $38 for one figure, that's still a discounted price because these are going to normally be $40, just like Necromancer was. And so these higher tiers, you're going to get that value of the more figures, you're going to save a ton more money.
I mean, it's like $27.75 or something a figure if you do the math right. So
yeah,
that's not bad. And then Hellfire Club experience.
Okay, so yeah, the Hellfire Club VIP experience. I wanted that kind of fun, and so this is also a all in. So you get one of everything, but it also comes with anything unlocked and all the ones you already have. Test shots of everything. So you know, if this is for that prototype collector, so I didn't want to make many of them because you know we don't get many of the test shots and stuff like that. But you will get like I don't know if there's many people who collect these things, but if you've ever seen like maybe one of your old favorite GI Joes or even Marvel Legends or any of that stuff, and they're all just in either bare plastic or they have like yellow, red, and they're all just kind of silly colors. That's a test shot. And at the factory, what they do is they'll run these colors, they'll do these prototypes to make sure everything works perfectly. It's just that early prototyping system. And I know I love that kind of collecting those real rare items. And so that comes with a whole set of everybody that unlocked as also test shots.
Yeah,
Awesome. Chris, we're going to put you on a spot before we get into PPI mix and match. You said you're a metalhead. Give us one of the top 3 metal bands. And there's some metalheads in this group and our exterior group. Give us one.
So
don't be shy.
You know, this is just a band that everybody it's kind of gone ahead of metal now, you know, as more of like a rock group because I'm wearing a Metallica hat, so I can't not say it because I literally just went to their concert like what was it this last weekend. So I gotta go with even though that's not some deep cut, it was amazing and I had a great time. So
that's awesome. Any favorite album, Metallica album?
My daughter has now fallen in love with Metallica, which makes me happy. It only took her until she was 15, but she asked me that same question, and I was like, "Ride the Lightning all day long." I can't not say Ride the Lightning. I mean, there's just so many good, so many good songs. I mean, I love Call of Cthulhu. I love.
We got all the metalheads coming in. We got Poison showing up.
Oh my god!
We got Warrant.
It's going all hair metal. I love it.
Yeah, we got Cinderella.
Wait, Darth Moocher, White Zombie than everyone else.
Wow.
Commander Bly, Hanson. Yeah, Hanson. And then we want a clarity here. What kind of metal? Thrash, slug. Some beatdown.
That sounds like a Deadly. He wants Deadly wants the full breakdown of what we're talking about.
That's tough because that's like just saying. I mean, I like death metal, but I'm not a crazy death metal guy. I like thrash more, I guess. 80s Motorhead with. I mean, I guess Motorhead would still kind of be a little bit in there. I know these are all pretty vanilla answers with some of these bands, but like. Yeah, I don't know.
It's all good. I think when you say metal, and then people like they want some deep, like never
Yeah.
heard of. It's like
The
it's
scratched
okay.
in the couch, leather cracks logo.
Yeah, somebody like asked me, I'm like, yeah, Metallica, Mastodon, like all these, like, it's
Yeah.
okay, I could say those things, but if you want some like other stuff, we could talk about it. But it doesn't have to be that, right? So,
Wasp,
Sure.
right?
well,
Wasp, yes.
all right, Chris, as a guest, you have to play this game with us. It is PPI Mix and Match. Mr. Storm, do you want us to walk us through what the heck Mix and Match is tonight?
Absolutely. Well, we kind of thought we were going with the theme because all night we're going with the theme of World War Hell. So we thought, what better way of whatever could be the inspiration that Chris had, which we've actually heard a couple other films and situations. But we thought, hey, what classic horror films, and if you mix and match that with an actual war film, what would work? So we've got 3 on the screen, but this leads into everybody else, even in the chat, you could come up with this. So we kind of thought if Friday the 13th met Full Metal Jacket, what would that be in a mix and match and everything? Is that a good line of action figures, Chris?
Absolutely. Like Vietnam mixed with freaking Jason Voorhees. Like, come on. I mean, I guess this is the first one, so it'd be, Pamela Voorhees, but that'd be really ridiculous. But no, if you want to take that whole Jason element of that killer, think about that, like big mass killer, like hunting down like a bunch of, like a platoon of Vietnam soldiers or a small squad, like trying to survive. I'm all for that.
All right,
See,
so
now this is where I would have switched a couple, because
Okay.
I'm thinking Friday the 13th, and you mix that with like Apocalypse Now,
okay.
where you got your team
Yeah.
that's going down to find Jason, who's doing something crazy in the middle of the jungle somewhere.
Well, you know
Uh.
what? Wait, I'm going to go back to Friday the 13th in Full Metal Jacket, because let's just pretend it's Friday the 13th Part 2. So we actually see Jason Voorhees. It would
Yeah.
have been amazing to see Jason Voorhees as Private Pyle's character in the film.
I was just going to say
Baghead
that.
Jason
With the mask off. No mask.
versus Arlie Irving.
Yes. Let me see that. That would have been amazing.
I don't know if he would have had the same rambunctiousness that he had with him speaking to him in the barracks that way. I don't know about that. All right, let's throw this is Dane the Exorcist in Apocalypse Now. Yep, let's throw this in because hey,
How would
Marlon
that work?
Brando in that jungle went a little nuts, but let's say he was possessed. So we got the Exorcist and Apocalypse Now. Chris, does those make good action figures there?
I mean, it'd be a slower action figure, like, but I'm all for it. You get that body horror. I mean, come on, Marlon Brando possessed by freaking Pazuzu. Like, sign me up. Like, I just want to watch that movie now.
Now you could
So
go.
true.
The effects, you have the vomiting effects, all sorts of fun stuff.
Yes.
Might have to have a priest go with him. Might be kind of interesting in that there.
Now,
Yeah, it's with the father crap from The Exorcist, the main him going down
Father
the
Marin,
river instead. Yeah. Fantastic.
Which version of Jason are we discussing? I prefer the cyborg Jason version.
Jason X.
Was that in space?
Now
right?
we're talking
Was that-
That's space, I think Space X or something.
Jason X.
Something like that. Yeah.
Jason
That's
X.
that's going into deep dive in that one. All right, so let's say Halloween, Michael Myers is going after the Saving the Private Ryan boys. How does that work?
He's not saving Private Ryan, that's for sure.
Killing
They're
Private
just
Ryan.
massacred. Like, you can't. You're not stopping Michael Myers. Like, come on. Like, these guys they're in trouble. They're too shaken. That's a fun toy line too. Like,
It would be.
man, the grittiness and that would be that. All good stuff.
I'm thinking Enemy at the Gates, where it was the snipers going after each other, or
Okay.
that you could have like a Michael Myers, that's stalking someone else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, what about Mist and Dracula?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the mist with like those it's kind of because mist is kind of Lovecraftian a little bit with like the creatures and stuff like that. Like something like because like I'm all for some of that. You put some soldiers in there too. Yes.
See, Saving Private Ryan, you could make like Michael Myers is sent by the U.S. military, like Captain America-esque, to go save, and he's just stabbing Nazis with a knife. The whole film is just him getting to Private Ryan. and they're
You
just filling in with
capture
bullets, and
him
it's just by the
and
time the
drop
movie's
him
over,
behind enemy lines
Yeah.
and just let him go crazy. He's like, yeah, just kill everybody you want. You're free.
That's
see it.
fantastic. Just that's I like the sound of that. That's fun.
blockbuster experience. All
There you
in,
go.
creative
Thank
team,
you.
man.
Thank you.
There you go.
Nice,
Thank you.
nice.
And
So-
the
What
other
about
one,
what about if you did? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say the only other one I was thinking of is Full Metal Jacket and Aliens, and it would be like a more serious Starship Troopers, where it's not joking, it's not trying to be funny at all. It's just a straight up horror. You get to learn these guys, learning how to fight, and then the second half is just drop them in the shit
Ooh.
and let them fight.
Yes, absolutely. And then that was one thing I didn't say when we were talking about like inspiration, but Aliens 100%.
Oh,
So
yes.
I am all in on that because I love the idea because Starship Troopers was fantastic learning the characters, even though it was very tongue in cheek, that movie. And I love like what that movie does, but like, yeah, you go serious and show the boot camp and then drop them into something like that. Oof, yeah, that's good. It's a good idea.
Mr. Maddox, any mashup for you?
Yeah.
Commander Black.
I know. I
Just
saw
saw it
that.
too.
I just decided to ignore that. I knew it was going down this level.
This guy. I love it.
So good.
You're getting the full Bly experience tonight, Chris.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Commander Bly just threw me off. I don't remember. I think mine was Friday the 13th in Tropic Thunder, but I don't
Oh, yeah. Actually, has there ever been like that type of like super shenanigans, super like Will Ferrell-esque like comedy, but horror themed, where it was a balance of this is kind of scary and creepy, but also just like super shenanigans? Like I don't think there's been anything like that, right?
There, I would say like if you want it still to be a little scary, it is kind of creepy, but it's also very funny at times. Is Cabin in the Woods? I don't know if you guys have ever seen Cabin in the
I have
Woods.
seen Kevin in the Woods, yeah.
And it's got some really if you guys haven't, go watch it, or if you haven't seen it in a while, fantastic movie. And then Tucker and Dale versus Evil is it's very fun.
That's so good.
It is.
It turns that whole on its head again. That's got that silliness too, but not very scary, of course.
Absolutely.
And Slither, one of James Gunn's first.
James Gunn,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've got some people in the chat actually here. So let me pull this up, and I saw that Skeletron actually had a good one. Evil Dead and Catch 22. Wouldn't have thought that, but that's pretty good right there. Some really good ones. Anybody else got any other mashups? Anything anybody could think of for mix and match?
Frankenstein's Army and Predator.
Oh, okay, yeah, actually, that actually would work. Actually,
I still haven't watched Frankenstein's Army.
You know what?
Rama's already been yelling at me like crazy.
Predator.
I still haven't.
Predator wouldn't be able to see an army of the undead if they don't give off body heat.
That's true.
That's
That's
very
true.
true.
That's why it's good.
And it'd be hard to kill them off since they're already dead. So,
Yes.
You
That
could
works.
do you could do Platoon and Lost Boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking Miracle at St. Anna's and Sinners. You can throw that for some of the newer ones. So
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Yeah. Sinners was fantastic too.
I do like
Wait, what was that? What was
I was
that?
gonna say Braveheart and Poltergeist, like it's a straight up historical ghost movie.
I like it.
Well, Chris, thanks for playing this silly ass game with us. We very much appreciate it.
I enjoyed it.
For those of you again just tuning in, GrindHouse Toys released World War Hell Kickstarter line. Amazing. Get to the site because again, just to recap, when we started the show, a few things sold out. You've got now the Blockbuster 2, so if you want to get in on that particular back project here, please do so. I got a question for you, and Chris, around like how many first prototypes were there until you went, this is the one? Like what was the moment? How many versions of the first figure Was it a short period of time, or was it like, got it? I'm so curious of the creative process.
So I have a different type of creative process. I'm a little ridiculous. I just kind of like I don't like I'll design something, but when I'm painting it, it really comes alive for the first time. Like when I'm painting, because I paint it at the exact same scale as what it's going to look like and everything. But that's usually, I don't really redo it. Like I do it like the one time and I'm like, I like it. Like I figure it out as I'm doing it. And you know, it's funny because a lot of creatives will be like, oh, let me do 15 different colors and double check. I'm like, nah, this is it. I got it right here. And I really just feel confident in what I kind of knock out that first try. And all those guys have, you know, I might start tweaking and I have to stop myself from that because I will tweak too far and destroy it. And hey, thanks, Jason. But like Graves, his face paint. If you've seen, he has like apocalyptic war paint, and so he has skull face paint and skull arms. That was added as I was going, just because I was like, I want to add something a little different in there. But yeah, I don't usually go through very different variations of them.
Got it. That's helpful. I'm always curious, the creative process, right? I think everyone has their style and process, so that's amazing. Chet, Alex, I know that you all are more into this scale of figures. Do you think this is the revolution? Are we going to see? Will this help uplift past the 6-inch? What's your take?
Well, I definitely think that it's moving in the needle in the right way. I know when Chris was on Toy Box Chronicles, he had hinted at a vehicle that I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm buying that if he makes it. So you know, and anything that I think can go with the vintage Joe line or whatever vintage 3 3/4 lines that you have that you want to just pair up with. I think it's extremely good. I think RoboSkull that popped out of nowhere and they kind of brought that back. There are a lot of other lines that are popping up, but when you have something different and unique, it makes people want to actually collect it again. And that's what, you know, this whole World War Hell, first of all, it's got a great title. The visualizations, when you think about the story first, and then you knock out the characters, and then they all live in a world, and we've seen like great artwork that's done by, you know, Mr. Mark Peddington and a bunch of other great artists that's involved in this. It just has a way of seeming like this guy did the most work. I've actually got to back that. It's the difference. We've seen some other lines that didn't seem like they were as detailed in it, and they got backed. This is one I think that people all day today, again, I've been on the forums all day, and it has been one after another, like, I'm backing this. I haven't seen anybody like, I've seen this before. It's like they're blown out of the way, man. Chet, are you getting the same feeling, brother?
Yeah, look, I'm a massive fan of 3 3/4, and you know, I like Joe's. I like the original Joe's, but this like getting in the Necromancer and then seeing what's like actually possible with 3 3/4 when you give a shit and you actually make stuff that like you're proud of. It changes the game. There's a few that I saw, and I really started to pique my interest when I did see GrindHouse at Joe Fest last year, and then RoboSkull popped up, and this is making me want to pick up that RoboSkull that I found, because I want to. When there's this good of quality inside of a 3 3/4, it's easy to say I can make this shelf like my whatever, whether it's GrindHouse or RoboSkull, whatever, and you don't run out of shelf space, right? So for me to see this, it's like, yeah, I'm all in. And the problem is that even though I got the Blockbuster one, by the time it hits, I'll be like, yeah, well, I need this one too. I'm going to need this one. I'm going to need this one. Because we talked about it. One thing I think is really cool about GrindHouse with this, and it kind of speaks to it, is go ahead and try to find them on eBay. They don't exist. And if you do, it's like $250 for like one figure. So I think this is a size that if you're a true collector and you want to army build but have just like a cool piece to look at on a shelf, you could get a lot more accomplished with 3 3/4 than you can 1/12 scale. And so this is just a testament to it. I mean, every figure is completely different, and it just tells its own story. So the problem is that what Chris isn't telling us is he's probably got a bunch of vehicles planned that he's gonna release, and then that's gonna take up even more fucking space. So
Chet, it's funny you say that because one of the socials, the question was earlier on in this cast, Chris, you had mentioned because it can fit in vehicle. What's the future? I mean, is it too early? Can you hint, or what's the dream? Like, give us a little maybe insight into what might be coming or dream scenario.
Well, yeah, I wanna build that world like we were talking about earlier with the world building, and vehicles are definitely part of that world because again, it's war. It's not just a military line. It's a horror military line, but also I don't even want to call it a military line. It's a dark horror fantasy line, really.
Okay.
So I want to open those doors. I want more creatures. Like ideally, you know how cool it would be to have like it could fit in multiple scales, but like a giant Cthulhu. And I know people have done it, but like I want to tackle that, and you know things like that. So I want creatures. I want soldiers. I want vehicles. It doesn't always have to be World War II either. I mean, it's crazy. Stuff can go all over the place. I think this form factor will work really well and bring the fun factor as well. And so, yeah, kind of the sky's the limit if, of course, people back and they you know, they're willing to purchase the toys. I mean, I'm down to make them.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, I think this line also gives into at one point or another, which I know as a vintage collector myself, possibly a play set somewhere.
That would be amazing because I'm a big sucker for play sets.
Yeah.
And even just like the picture I posted today with the Dio that Jimmy made, I'm like, man, I want a play set that's like has this kind of look with the freaking, you know, all the rubble and skulls and just ridiculousness.
It's Vintage Joe Collector. I'm all about the new 118 stuff that kicks ass. This Joy Toy Skeletron Delta 17. It's just cool. Damn right. Robo Skull. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. We just went to a convention. We were at the Robo Toy Fest.
Yep.
And these gentlemen are bad influences on my toy habits. So they're like, "Hey, Robo Skull, yeah, let me walk over and Sarlacc guys," and you know, it's just like, and now I'm like, "Oh, do I need to get this?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
I can help you out on that because I've already secured that.
I know.
I already purchased that. It was the one with the yellow lines. Like he has it, but he didn't want to. He like opened it to like look at it, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that."
Yeah,
I'm gonna need that, and then I'm gonna have to find more of the figures, and it's gonna.
They're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, it's be a problem.
Chris, I got a question for you. You give your
sir.
complete your a figure that you've just created here in the package to your 10-year-old self. What does he say when you put it in his hands?
Holy shit! Like he'd be so excited. You know, he would be so excited because this is 10-year-old me still designing these things, and you know, my kids always tell me that I'm still 12 years old, and they're not completely wrong. But you know, in a funny short story about that was when I was a kid, and I think I've told this story a few times, but I being a huge Aliens fan, I got the Kenner Aliens, and I love the Kenner Aliens.
Yeah.
But I was like, I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, can we contact the toy company because they need to make the Marines look like they looked in the movie?" Because I loved what James Cameron had done, even as like a freaking 8 or 9-year-old kid. I was just like, "Why do we not have these?" And she's like, "That's not a thing. Like you can't do that."
Yeah.
So
No,
this is me
a
kind of
pone
living that
with
out.
the no bugs shirt. I was like, no, what are you doing?
but now I love it though. The yellow.
Yeah, but you know,
bright shirt,
when I was
arm.
like that age, you know, you're
Yeah.
like, what? He's wearing a yellow shirt? What's going on?
Yes, where's his cigar and his freaking amazing, you know, BDUs?
Speaking of Robo characters, Alex, how do you feel about Robo Joe? Do you think he's too unoriginal?
No, I don't actually. No, I don't. I think he's right in there. I think you can actually slide that into the line as well, man. So I think it's a place for all and everything. And you know, great question, brother. I think it's extremely smart.
Robo Joe is fantastic. That orange, come on, guys. Come on.
It will work. Robo Hell is the most metal AF line of all time.
It's very
That
true.
is a
That's
very
true.
good. That is a very good compliment coming from
Great.
the guy who made Robo
You should
Skull. Like,
Put that on
Yes.
the box art, like it's a critic.
oh, that's a good. I'm
You
stealing
should.
that. I'm
You
taking
should.
that quote here. I'm gonna screen. I'm taking a picture of Ben. So you're
Screenshot
on
it.
for
Screenshot
access. There it is.
So I'm gonna give a little.
Bam.
You got it. You got it.
So
Okay.
we're gonna give a little love to Skeletron because we're just talking about Robo Skull, and it's like I just talked about like we're being way behind on that, and part of it is just the scale and what I collect. I mean, you see the big ass figures behind me; they're starting to shrink in my collection. But I do feel like the guy that like the Matrix came out, and like 10 years later, you're like, hey. Have you seen the Matrix? I feel I'm so behind on Robo Skull. I'm definitely not making the mistake here with World War Hell, so I'm glad we're talking about it. Very exciting stuff here. Again, if you're just tuning in, we got a few minutes left here on the show, but we got Chris here from GrindHouse Toys releasing this brand new line, anticipated line, and go to Kickstarter and check it out. This could be the gateway to the line, to the size, and maybe more than likely, if you're tuning in the show, you do collect something of toys or collectibles. Just a cool concept. And look, if you're in the area and you're going to Joe Fest, Chris will be there live at the booth. You can see those things in person as well. But Mr. Storm, Chet, Dr. Brantley, what else? What else we got for this evening?
Well, one thing too, actually, Chris, since they can't get the World War Hell at Joe Fest, what goodies are you bringing down there so they'll know to make sure they stop off of the ATM and bring lots of cash?
You can come look at all my empty plastic cases behind me. No, I am working on some stuff. I'm hoping. So Mark Pennington's working on a big. He sent me the inks are finished,
Okay.
And he started coloring it with like the flats, and it's this amazing battle scene. Like it shows the entire group of characters, and I have to get that as a print. And if he can get it colored in time, I will have prints of that. And he's there too, so he can sign it.
Great.
And so that would be the goodies. No toys, unfortunately, but you can see the prototypes at least.
What if you just said that and then when he's there, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not signing this shit."
That'd be amazing. I'd laugh. I'm hoping he's close to me so I can laugh when he turns people away. No.
he's like, you didn't ask me that. That's something.
Most definitely. Well, like I said again, make sure that you're actually heading over to Kickstarter and supporting that. It is what's the current numbers right now? It's like we're doing a telethon right now.
Let's do it.
We
Let's
are,
do a
we are,
telethon.
let's re.
Uh-oh.
We could go all night on a telethon. We had
24 hours.
Yeah, we're at 175 backers,
Wow.
44,497.
Nice. Congrats.
Let's
Nice.
take a look at our pledges here in case we need to
What's the
push some
percent?
more.
What's the percent? What are we at? We're like 65%.
It's more than half.
Something like that. Yeah.
No, it's way more than 65%.
Yeah,
Is
no.
it? Wow.
Yeah, it's like 70%.
Really?
Yeah.
Congrats,
let's
man. Huge congrats. Like that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's
Cannon
awesome.
fodder.
Good
Be
show.
kind, rewind. Wait, where's the blockbuster one?
No, I
There's
think you
the into.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you
nice.
got
3 of those.
yeah, you had 150, you had 147 left.
Nice.
And then somebody in our chat needs to buy one of these Hellfire Club experiences because that was one of our goals.
you want some prototypes.
Oh, don't tempt me with a good time.
Oh, I wasn't tempting you, but I mean, if you want to, just kidding.
Yeah, man, congrats on this. This is a really good.
Thank you.
If it keeps up this momentum, there is a high probability you'll show up on Kickstarter's page, on the main page. So
Yeah.
I know the more
so.
you enter. The way to do it is that you have momentum, so you want to pay attention and start just posting more updates or like behind the scenes of like, if you do the Hellfire, this is one of the things you're going to get from Hellfire. Like, just start showing all that stuff because then Kickstarter will be like, oh, okay, this person is really interactive with the group, and then they'll feature you, and then you just blow up from there. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Exciting stuff, man. I think look, let's get Chris to the homepage, spread the word, spread the love, share, get your buddies, your friends and family. I got one more question for you. You're making the film World War Hell. Who's your director? Who are you tapping? Your dream director?
I've been thinking about that actually a lot lately. So I don't know. I feel like it should be an indie guy, and so this is one thing I've been thinking about. Because I mean, ideally, you talk dream. I don't know, like, because I'm such a big fan. Again, of an Aliens fan. I love me some James Cameron, but old school James Cameron. I'm talking like '83 James Cameron. Terminator 1, Aliens. James Cameron. But like, if you're talking like a newer director, I think somebody who could tackle it and still do like I don't know if he's never done anything big like that, but man, like I really like what Damien Leone's doing with like the Terrifier movies, the gore, and him being a special effects guy too. Like I think that could be a really fun kind of collaboration on something like that.
Awesome. Darth Moocher, give Tony Gilroy everything. True Star Wars guy, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, you might be right. Look, my personal opinion, because I think it would be just as demented, maybe not as gore. Eli Roth, I think, could just be amazing. He's a wacko, but I love his films too.
Sam Raimi's still working.
100%.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. Oh, of course. I mean,
Ridley Scott is very offended.
Jason and I, Jason's my high school, like I've known him since high school, and we've had many conversations complaining about Ridley Scott because of his treatment of the Alien franchise after.
Yeah.
I mean, 79 Alien is a masterpiece, yes, but stop touching it, leave it alone.
Ding ding ding.
Chris, any last words? We're about to wrap things up for the people that been, might see this afterwards, or those who've been hanging out with us here live on Pixels, Plastic, and Ink.
Sure. So just, I really appreciate everybody who has backed the Kickstarter. And, if you want to get some really cool figures, something different, something a little bit against the grain, go back to Kickstarter, get something fun. And you're going to smile when you open that VHS case and, you got a corpse looking at you or, whatever you choose.
Awesome. Well, hey man, thanks for taking the time again. You did Toy Box Chronicles. You did this show on SKN. Again, for those of you who are not always in here, we run live every Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Films, toys, comic podcast here, and then Wednesday nights we do more of the toys and collectibles with Mr. Storm and Chet Maddox. We got live guests all the time, and check us out. We appreciate you all hanging out with tonight. We appreciate you, Chris, making the time on a Friday night. I know sometimes that's hard, especially got family and stuff, but it was a pleasure, man. And I think this crew backed it, and I'm excited to see this bad boy grow, man. We'll be staying tuned for sure. But Chet Maddox, Mr. Storm, Dr. Brentley, any final words before we conclude?
No, man, just always nice to see something new and original get out there. I love the fact that when we started tonight, it was at 43, and now it's hitting beyond 44. So, that's goes to show that people want this kind of stuff, and you can speak with your dollars. We tell everyone you can speak with your dollars, and obviously the dollars is going towards some originality. So, really proud to be involved in that. If we can help in any way, we're always here for it, Chris.
Thank you. And I really appreciate all of you guys and having me on. It's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, like I said, like this is you have 29 more days, and we do our schedules like clockwork. So would love to have you in like mid check or whenever you want to jump in to talk about it. Could either be on Wednesdays or Fridays. But it'd be good to just keep the momentum going and push you over. And then also, a bunch of people that live in our alliance with their shows, and I know you've been talking to Dead Man Juan, I believe.
Wednesday I'll be on his show.
Yeah, so we'll try to get you to as many shows as we can to run around and talk about it, man. But it's been great having you. It's been a pleasure, like just getting to talk with you and scheduling all this stuff out. So it's great stuff, man. I'm impressed, and there's not a lot that I get impressed with when it comes to toys, because I feel like a lot of people are just throwing shit out to throw it out. And so this is fantastic work, man. So good job on that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks all. All right. Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the dads, and we will see you next week. Adios.
Chris, hang tight.